polyspermy. During fast-blocked polyspermy, after fusion, the oocyte membrane depolarizes, preventing other spermatozoa from fusing with it. Slow-blocked polyspermy is also stimulated by this depolarization.
عندي only one راح
During
يخترق
slow-blocked
الكولونوريديتا
polyspermy,
والزينة
a
باليوسيدة
wave of
ويوصل للبلازما
intracellular
ممبرين.
calcium is released, causing small cortical granules beneath the oocyte membrane to release their contents, rendering ZP3 inactive and making the zona pellucida impermeable. Upon the spermatozoan entering, the oocyte undergoes meiosis too, and further develops into the female pronucleus. During this time, the sperm develops into the male pronucleus, and the two pronuclei fuse to form a single diploid nucleus, or zygote.
الزيجوت الطفلي اللي هو يحتوي على الدايبلويد نمبر. Okay.
I have to stop and tell you guys about Lecturio, Lecturio. Lecturio is essentially an online method.
اوكي هاي اول واحد راح نشوف هاي الفيرتيلايزيشن.
Fertilization is the epic story of a single sperm facing incredible odds to unite with an egg and form a new human life. It is the story of all of us. During sexual intercourse, about 300 million sperm enter the vagina. Soon afterward, millions of them will either flow out of the vagina or die in its acidic environment. However, many survive because of the protective elements provided in the fluid surrounding them. Next, the sperm must pass through the cervix, an opening into the uterus. Usually, it remains tightly closed, but here the cervix is open for a few days while the woman ovulates. The sperm swim through the cervical mucus,
هذا السبرم
which
راح
is
تدخل
thinned to a
السيرفكس.
watery consistency for easier passage. Once inside the cervix, the sperm continues swimming toward the uterus, though millions will die trying to make it through the mucus. Some sperm remain behind, caught in the folds of the cervix, but they may later continue the journey as a backup to the first group. Inside the uterus, muscular uterine contractions assist the sperm on their journey to
شوفوا راح يصير مصير كونتراكشن
However,
عم
resting
تنطلق
cells
الأوسايت.
the immune system, mistaking the sperm for foreign invaders, destroy thousands more. Next, half the sperm head for the empty fallopian tube, while the other half swim toward the tube containing the unfertilized egg. Now, only a few thousand remain. Inside the fallopian tube, tiny cilia push the egg toward the uterus. To continue, the sperm must surge against this motion to reach the egg. Some sperm get trapped in the cilia and die.
نشوف
During
هاي
this part of
السيديا
the journey,
الطلاب اليوم
chemicals in the
أخذناهم.
reproductive tract cause the membranes covering the heads of the sperm to change. As a result, the sperm become hyperactive, swimming harder and faster toward
راح
the
يصير بها
destination.
السبرم هايبر اكتف يعني فرط بالحركة.
At long last, the sperm reach the egg.
هاي الإيج هذه
Only
الكولونوريديتا.
a few dozen of the original 300 million sperm remain.
ملايين من السبرم only one
The cells called
راح يخترق منطقة الكولونوريديتا.
The sperm must push through this layer to reach the outer layer of the egg, the zona
هو أول شيء
pellucida.
يخترق الكولونوريديتا بعدين الزنا باليوسيدا.
When sperm reach the zona pellucida, they attach to specialized sperm receptors on the surface, which triggers their acrosomes to release digestive enzymes.
الأكروموسوم اللي هو راح يحيط بالسبرم راح يفرز لي هرمونات.
Inside the zona pellucida is a narrow, fluid-filled space just outside the egg cell membrane. The first sperm to make contact will fertilize the egg. After a perilous journey and against incredible odds, A single sperm
بعد
attaches to
السبيرم
the
راح
egg cell
تلتصق ويا
membrane.
السيل ممبرين مال إكس.
Within a few minutes, the outer membranes fuse and the egg pulls the sperm inside. This event causes changes in the egg membrane that prevent other sperm from attaching to it.
بعد البقية هم راح
Next,
يصير بيها
the egg releases
ديجنريشن
chemicals
وأتلانتيك
that push other
تنمحل.
sperm away from the egg to create an impenetrable fertilization membrane. As the reaction spreads outward, the zona pellucida hardens, trapping any sperm unlucky enough to be caught inside. Outside the egg, sperm are no longer able to attach to the zona pellucida. Meanwhile, inside the egg, the tightly packed male genetic material spreads out. A new membrane forms around the genetic material, creating the male pronucleus. Inside, the genetic material reforms into 23
هذا الهايبلود
chromosomes.
نمبر 23.
The female genetic material, awakened by
راح
the
يصير بيها
fusion of the sperm
انقسامات
and the egg, finishes dividing, resulting in the female pronucleus.
والفيميل 23 راح تعطيني الزيغوس اللي هي تحتوي على 46 كروموسوم.
Spider-web-like threads called microtubules pull them toward each other. The two sets of chromosomes join together, completing the process of fertilization. At this moment, a unique genetic code arises, instantly determining gender, hair color, eye color, and hundreds of other characteristics. This new single cell, the zygote, is the beginning of a new human being.
الزيغوت هي بداية تكوين الفرد الجديد.
Gently sweep the zygote. Fertilization and implantation.
الفرتلايزيشن امبلانتيشن معناها الغرس.
Continued stimulation of the gland. Penis triggers the spasm of muscles of the genital organs, creating the organism and resulting in the discharge of semen from the urethra. When semen is deposited within the vagina, the sperms tend to move in all directions, but many find their way up the cervix of the uterus and out into the
راح تدخل اليوترس بعدين تدخل الأوفيداكت.
the descending ovum. 3 days is required for an ovum to travel down.
تستغرق هذه العملية وصولها للأوفيداكت ثم اليوترس 24 ساعة.
Lives, however, only about 24 hours after its liberation from the follicle. As the sperm and ovum meet fertilization,
السبيرم راح تتحد ويا الأوفم أو الأوسايت بعملية الفرتلايزيشن. خلينا نشوف ايش راح يصير التغيرات.
period of fertility lasts only a day or two after ovulation. If the ovum is not fertilized during this time, it passes from the body. If the ovum is fertilized, it becomes implanted in the endometrium.
هاي implantation ناخذها بمحاضرة واحد.
3 to 4 days after the young embryo reaches the uterus, within 6 to 7 days after the egg was fertilized. Fertilization can only occur if the ovum and sperm are transported simultaneously to the ampullary isthmic junction. The process of fusion of a sperm with an ovum is called fertilization. During fertilization, a sperm comes
نفس الحاشية راح تخترق أول هذه الكورنري داتا بعدين توصل للزونة باليوسيدا بعدين راح يتحد ويا السيل ممبرين.
only can fertilize an ovum. The secretions of acrosomes help the sperm enter into the cytoplasm of the ovum.
الأكروموسوم راح يحط السبيرم الهيد مالته.
Completion of the meiotic division of the secondary
راح تعاني وانا ما يتحدون راح تعاني عدد من الانقسامات.
is also unequal and results in the formation of a second polar body and a
عمود نحصل على الدايبلويد زايغوت اللي يجينا جاية من الهايبلويد مال اوسايت والهايبلويد مال السبيرم.
together to form a diploid zygote. Human female is XX and that of the male
اثنيناتهم هايبلويد. هذا راح يشرح الاكس ايش راح يصير والواي ايش راح يصير.
50% of sperms carry X chromosomes, while other 50% carry Y chromosomes. After fusion of the male and female gametes, the zygote would carry either XX or XY.
اما راح تكون اكس اكس زيجوت او راح تكون اكس واي. اذا كانت اكس اكس راح تعطيني فيميل، واذا كانت اكس واي هو الميل. احنا ليش نقول الميل هو اللي يحدد؟ لان الانثى بس اكس اكس، اما الفيميل الميل راح يكون يحتوي على الاكس والواي. هاي المحاضرات اللي بعدها راح يصير بيها كليفج وتنقسم، هاي ناخذها بالمحاضرة. راح تزداد اسميها بلاستومير وبعدين اسميها الموريولة. هذه كلها بالمحاضرات الجاية طلاب تاخذوها. يعني طلاب أحد عنده سؤال؟ اوكي بس خل اخذ حضوركم. عندنا 28.